Hey, how's it going? It's Mike here with Two Rivers again. I've got a little project here in the shop. A friend wants to get a little more heat inside this little vehicle, so I said, well, let's try this. I ordered a Vevor diesel heater, a kit. So I'm gonna take this kit and yeah, I'm gonna put it inside this vehicle. So now all we gotta do is we need to figure out where it's going to sit, how I'm going to hold my tank in place. I'll be fabricating housings, running piping just to get the heat spread out. So it'll be a fun little project. It's probably going to take a few days, 3 days probably. I'll probably do this over Christmas break because, well, my family left and they went to Palm Springs and left me in the hellhole of the frigidness here back in Winnipeg. It's pretty cold, so anyways, you know what? I'm going to open this box up. I'm going to take a quick look at the instructions, and from there I'll try to figure out where everything's going to fit. And yeah, let's get some heat going inside this little machine. So after thinking about it, calling the owner, we had a discussion about this section here that has this grate over top of it, like this. We figure that this is probably going to have to stay to draw air in there in the summertime. If they use it in the summertime to draw cool air in there to keep the engine cooled down, because the engine's back inside there, but it's also completely enclosed after all the modifications. So the engine's actually right inside here, and it may keep all the heat in. So still might put it up top. Up here, where might have to build a console that comes down with a couple of vents in it, or another spot would be down in the bottom there. I don't know if you can see it, it might be too dark. I have to get a light. So down in the bottom there, where that heater's sitting, might be able to stick the heater down there and put the fuel tank on the side here. But I have to remember that this thing goes through the bush, so that tank can't get wrecked. The other thing is I don't know if the fuel pump can draw up or if it has enough pressure to push it a distance. So something I'm gonna have to figure out. Maybe I'll play around with that and see if that works or doesn't work, but oh well, back to the drawing board. Okay, so I guess I get to share my artistic and engineering talents. There's a joke. So here's what I kind of figure that might happen. So at the back, we're gonna have the tank, heater at the top, controls at the front. So as long as this pump can, it'll be lower, it'll draw it up. If it can push it all the way up to the heater, then it should work. I'll exhaust it. Oh, I didn't put my exhaust in there. I'll make it so the exhaust comes out the back. And then heat's gonna come out from I'll build a console that attaches to the top. The heat will come out, and then I'll run I'll make some duct work, which I can hide. Will come down to the bottom, draw all the cool air up, and it should theoretically is pull the heat down to the bottom, but that's to be seen. That's the plan. That's plan number 2, because plan 1 didn't work, which was inside that screened area, so that's out. So this would be plan 2, and plan 3 would probably be putting it in this area and then duct work, but we'll see. So we're going to try this one and see how everything fits. All right, so I went and got myself a piece of aluminum here. I'm thinking it's probably, what thickness we got here? Just under 1/8 of an inch. I figure it should be strong enough once we cut it into a smaller piece. And what I'm thinking on doing is just making a bracket so it comes across the top and bends down on the sides, probably 1 inch to 1.5 inches. That way I can build a box around it, or a cover of some type, slide it up, and then just attach it with probably 4 or 6 screws. That way it doesn't rattle out or come loose. So, got myself a piece of cardboard. I'll do my measurements. I'll transfer them onto here. And then what I'll do is I will take this piece of aluminum and I will bend it. Just bend the sides down so I have something to attach that box to.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Question is, do I want to run it this way, then I can go straight up the firewall, or the back? Or do I run it this way and then just bend my pipe? Which means I have to build the box bigger. I think I'm actually going to go this way. I'm going to run it on its side with the glow plug up, and I think it might actually work better in the end. It's easier to come into the cab a little bit as opposed to dropping it down so it sits really low. This is the way we're going to do it.
It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
The total length I'm going to need for that bracket, I'm probably going to say roughly 12 inches.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord,
I probably got about an inch and, I don't know, I'm going to say 5/16 on each side, which should be good. So this will be my bend, so this will be a fold. Let's write that on there because I'll forget. I just need to figure out how wide I want these brackets. They shouldn't really have to be extremely, like maybe 6 inches on each side. So I'm thinking it should work.
Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I'll probably round these off. Find something to round that off with, and that'll be good.
Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. That's it, the end of the song. Next time you sing along.
Okay, so here's what we got. So I don't think I'm going to need it this wide. As you can see how wide that is. I'll probably trim her down just a bit. So what I'm going to do is just set this down here like this. We're going to sit on our side. Maybe I'll keep it. That's not too bad. I guess I need to figure out if I want this thing to go right up against the firewall or the back wall and then straight out. Because if that is the case, then what I will need to do is bring it right to the edge of the bend. If that's the case, then I've got to deal with this excess here. And I think I'm going to sit it back. Give me a little bit of airspace to move around. There we go, changing plans again. If I put it this way, we've got a plate here. So this plate, it's pre-cut already, right? This is that came from them. From Vevor with the diesel heater. I can put it like this, and I could probably run threaded rod straight down to here. I think that's what I'm going to do. See, plans changed again. All right, I think this is it. Back to this way. So we're going to use this line here to line up these studs. I'll fold these in. That'll be the sides. And then I'll just figure out where I'll probably put a screw here and a screw here. This is just holding a housing, just to kind of cover everything up so it encloses it. Alright, so shear that off, shear this off, and then we'll notch all these out. And we'll put the template back on here, and then we'll get some holes drilled out. Alright, now what we'll do is we'll clean everything up here. So, that's not so horrible looking. Alright, that's better. Now we got some holes to drill. Once the holes are drilled, then I can bend these two wings over. So we got the holes drilled. I'm gonna put it in the metal brake and I'll bend that. And then we can try it. So now it'll sit in there just like this. I can build a cover to hide all this. I've got the holes drilled for that bracket. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of straighten out my 90s here. They're a little bit more than a 90. And then I'll drill some holes in the side here to hold the cover on. So it should all work out pretty good, I'm thinking. So I'll get some ready rod to come through here. I'll put anchors on this end and I'll weld a nut on the bottom and then we can just tighten it up. And it should work pretty good. So this plate will go up on top here. So this will get bolted up to here and then the heater will sit there. Then the exhaust will come down and go through here. We'll build a box to cover all this up and it should be good to go. So we'll drill these 3 holes and this will anchor it up onto the roof. Well, I marked it up top here. I'm gonna drill my holes. put these inserts in. That way I can bolt that plate up there. We got the 3 holes drilled. So now what I gotta do is I gotta vacuum this mess up. And then what we'll do is we'll just take these glasses off. Anyways, now that the holes are drilled, I can bolt the plate in after I install those inserts. And what I'll do is I'll get some ready rod cut. I'll put inserts into this plate right here. And then I'll be able to put everything together just to mock it up to see how it is. And I will probably start thinking of where the exhaust is going to go through, where I'm going to run my fuel line. I'm going to put the fuel tank in this back corner. Originally we were going to put it here. The problem is if you step up on the steps here, your foot's going to always hit that shield for the fuel tank, and it won't be. You'll probably end up slipping off. And then somewhere in this dash area, we're going to put the controls. But what I'd like to do is kind of mock up I'd like to build a dash for this thing. Just something really nice. That way all the dash has a little shelf on top. And then get all the gauges put on there. Just cleans it up a bit. But anyways, I'm rambling like I normally do. Gonna vacuum it up and put the anchors in. Gonna bolt that plate up. And then I'll get the ready rod ready. Now we're gonna try, make sure that we can get these bolts in there. Well, we'll try the plate. Alright, so I've got the bracket up, bolted up, and I've just zip tied the heater in place, so that's what it should look like. My high-tech light here. But this is what it's going to look like. So now what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to grab the bracket that goes on the bottom. This bracket here. And I'll put it here. I'll figure out the distance or the length of ready rod I need to cut. So I picked up some ready rod, nuts, bolts, and washers, and I'll put some anchors in. And then what I'll do is I'll get that all bolted together to see how it's going to sit, and then I'll figure out where my exhaust will go through the back here. And it should be coming out right here. Well, we'll see how that goes, and hopefully it all works out, because it'll make my life a lot easier. Otherwise I have to go to drawing board number 12. guess we're gonna end this video here. We got the heater sitting in place. The exhaust is cut through. So, of course, plans changed. I've turned it on its side because simply there's a hood cover that comes up and would hit a console if we put anything up there. So, we've got it mounted. It's sitting there. So I guess the next video, we're gonna end up running the fuel line. We're gonna build a bracket for the pump, and we're gonna build a cover and retainer for the tank that's gonna go in the back corner, and then we'll start to route the wires because they've got to be extended because they're gonna be too short to go from the back to the front. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, good or bad, ain't gonna bother me, and please hit that subscribe button. I mean, I'm having a little bit of fun with this, so this is actually turning into a little bit of a bigger project than I originally thought. 3 days turns into about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, who knows. And there'll be other projects on this one and possibly another one, and I'll have projects on boats. But stop squirreling. Thanks again for watching the video. Till next time, stay safe, and if you go fishing, good luck.